Hello, I'm Mr. Fulton, and I'm teaching either your earth science or your physics class this year. And I want to do a quick introduction about myself, just to let you know who I am, my interests, some of the things I do in my spare time. So a little bit about me. So as you know, my name is Mr. Fulton. My full name is Michael Fulton. My education, so I'm a registered patent agent, which means I can represent intellectual property matters in federal jurisdictions. And so that's something that I did before I was a teacher. I got my degree at BYU, Idaho, and my degree was in chemistry. And I also had a lot of other coursework in other areas. So I was a biology major for a while, I was pre-med for a while, pre-pharmacy, IT, a lot of other sections, botany, things like that. I also went to Boston Reed College, which was a technical college in California, and I studied pharmacy, and I was actually a pharmacy technician for a long while. So as you can see here, obviously I teach physics and earth science here. I also help my wife and stepdaughter with their company. She makes music. So before I worked at ALA, I worked at IBM in Rochester, Minnesota, where I was a patent agent. And like I talked about with the registered patent agent thing, I did all this stuff: prepared patent applications, revised patent applications, did patent prosecution. If you're interested in intellectual property, ask me about that. You probably don't want to hear my spill, so I'm just going to move on. Before I worked at IBM, I worked at K&L Gates, which is a law firm in Orange County, doing the same types of stuff. Before that, I worked at a hospital in Ridgecrest, California, doing blood research. So we would take blood samples from people and figure out what was wrong with them. If they had things like, different diseases, we would work with doctors to help figure out what we could do to fix them. So I did that for a while. Before that, I was a pharmacy tech at Walgreens. And then I did a lot of billing stuff, working with insurance companies to get them to pay for stuff. And I did a lot of training. And I also loved working on the robot. They had a robotic drug dispensing device that I would usually have to set up and calibrate and things. And that was a lot of fun. So before that, when I was at BYU, Idaho, I was a research assistant, and I helped a professor publish his work. He came up with a novel idea for two-dimensional electrophoresis with chromatography. And if you're curious about that, I can show you the publication. So I was published in college with that. And then, I've helped write hundreds of patents, and so those are all published as well. If you're curious, I could show you that stuff. They're hypertechnical documents, so they're not the most exciting things in the world to read. So I have a lot of technology skills, a lot of hobbies. I love 3D printing and tinkering. I was that kid that was always taking apart the TV or the VCR. I'm sure some of you can relate. I've had a lot of students that were the same when they were younger, just interested in why things work and how they work and things like that. I also love gardening. Sometimes I'll talk about that. You'll see plants laying around. I just love cloning plants and just experimenting with plants and growing food in my backyard. When I first moved into my house, it was just, compact clay dirt in the backyard, and I've been working with it, trying to get it to become a food forest. So getting trees to grow and plants to grow and vegetables to grow, and I made a pond, and all the frogs in the neighborhood like to come visit. So those are some of my hobbies. I was an Eagle Scout a long time ago, did a lot of scouting stuff. I'm fluent in Spanish. I lived in Venezuela for a couple years. I also played piano and guitar. That was pretty quick. A lot of the stuff's on my LinkedIn. If you use LinkedIn, it's good for professional networking. I think that's about it. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. I know a lot of you will probably be interested in 3D printing. I'll probably bring in my 3D printer. If you're interested in 3D design, I'll print out your designs if you want, if they're good. Go ahead and leave a comment if you have anything to say, or leave a comment on my Google Classroom. And I can't wait to meet you guys. Thanks for taking my class.